Welcome to the Predictive Analytics for Marketing. My name is Dr. Pahwa, and this is the first lesson of this course. And the title of this lesson is Introduction to Predictive Analytics. So, the focus of this course is going to be how we can apply the predictive analytics for marketing. These days, predictive analytics is used for various different applications. So in this lesson, we are going to cover what is predictive analytics and what kind of applications are there in the field of marketing for predictive analytics. The foundation for predictive analytics is statistics. So we are going to cover a lot of statistics in this course. We are going to cover mean, mode, median, then standard deviation, variance, z-values, distributions, and the p-values. After that, we are going to cover regression and also multivariable regression. So that is primarily is the course. And so in this lesson, which is lesson 1.1, first of all, we are going to define what is predictive analytics. And then, in fact, lesson 1 is split into 5 parts. So the next lesson I'm going to cover which tools are being used to do the predictive analytics. In this course, we are primarily going to use Microsoft Excel. But I will also show you some examples of R and Python as well. So we are primarily going to do statistics. We are going to do a lot of mathematics, and that is the focus here. So in the next lesson, we are going to cover the tools which I use, which is lesson 1.2. After that, we will cover some very basic statistics. So now let us start with lesson 1.1, which is what is predictive analytics. This is the outline of this lesson. We are going to first of all define what is big data and what is analytics. Then we are going to focus on the data science applications. So data science is just another name for machine learning and predictive analytics. Then we are going to look into the trends in technology because this trend in technology allows us to capture more and more of the data that allows us to do the machine learning. So we are going to look into the trend in technology. From the last few years, which is approximately 10 to 20 years, we have seen that amount of data that we have captured has increased significantly. When the first personal computers came out, we used to capture the data only in kilobytes. But now, of course, we are capturing the data in terms of the terabytes or petabytes. So very soon we will be moving towards exabyte, zettabyte, and finally, of course, gigabyte, which is 10 raised to the power 30 bytes. And the reason why we are capturing this data, because now we have available to us a lot of devices that have the ability to capture this data. And most of the data basically comes from the cell phones that we carry and the emails and the messages that we are passing from one phone to another phone. And also there are a lot of different sensors out there that is basically capturing the data. So of course there is an explosion of data. And this is called big data. And I'm sure everybody must have heard about this term, which is called big data. And the reason why we have this big data, because now we have the ability to capture this data. We have the hard drives that sells for just somewhere around $40-50, so that can that can store a few terabytes of data. So now we have the ability to store the data on, so we have the ability to capture the data. So this basically gives us the big data. And big data allows us to do the machine learning because big data is the foundation on which the machine learning is being built. The name of this course is Predictive Analytics and Machine Learning. So somebody may ask this question is that what is the difference between machine learning and predictive analytics? In fact, they are the same thing. In fact, another name which is being given to this particular science is called data science. And under data science, now we have three different areas. One is called machine learning, and machine learning is primarily used in the academic world. Then we also have data mining, that allows us to see the patterns in the data. And then we have predictive analytics that allows us to predict what's going to happen in future. But the underlying technology in all these three disciplines, which are machine learning, data mining, and predictive analytics, is exactly the same. So that's why all these three things basically comes under the umbrella of data science, and machine learning is just another name for predictive analytics. But machine learning is primarily being used in the academic world, whereas in the business world, the same science is called predictive analytics. So now the question comes up is why suddenly this area has become so popular. So there are three reasons for that. Number one is the need. Now we have the multi national companies, which we are, and they are doing business all over the world. So they need to keep track of the data and also understand what the customer wants. So because of that reason, they are collecting lots and lots of data from different customers. So then they need to understand exactly how what their customers want. Now, the next reason why this area of analytics has become so popular is because of availability of data. Now, everyone is carrying a cell phone these days that allows us to capture the data. And also, it has become very affordable. We can store this data at a very, very low cost. Terabytes of data can be stored on a hard drive that can cost just around 20 or $30. So the price of the hard disk has come down significantly. And the third reason, which I believe is the most important one, is that we are moving in that kind of a culture where all decisions are being made based on data. Earlier, people used to make decisions based on their gut feelings, but now we are moving into the area which is called fact or data-driven management. So all decisions that are being made in a business are based on facts. Facts means that we have real-world data from which we can predict what's going to happen, and based on that, we are going to take the decision. So all the decisions that are being taken based on data or based on facts are usually more correct than those decisions which are taken just based on your gut feeling. So based on these three reasons, analytics has suddenly become very, very popular. Another reason why the predictive analytics or machine learning has become very popular is because of the availability of the hardware and software. So these new technologies in hardware and software enable us to do the predictive analytics. So on the hardware side, of course, we have a very high-speed internet and wireless technology available, and we have access to the smartphones, which are iPhones and Android-based phones and all those things. And the third thing is that we have increased the computing power. Now we do the computing in cloud. It means we have infinite amount of computing power. And the fourth reason, of course, is the storage space is becoming very, very low cost. And it's very easy to store terabytes or petabytes of data on hard drives. Then on the software side also we have a lot of improvements we have been made. First of all, now we have the web services, also social media that allows us to capture lots and lots of data. And then also there have been advancement has been made in the data mining or the predictive analytics or the machine learning techniques that allows us to basically build these models. And also we have tools available like R and Python that allows us to build these models and draw some conclusions based on the data that we have. In this course, we are going to use the Python language. So later on in the first lesson, I'm going to cover Python language in more detail. And the focus of this particular course is going to be on the Skykit package that is available in the Python world. And I'm going to talk a lot about Python later on. There are millions of applications for data science. In fact, data science is becoming that area. It is very difficult to find an industry where data science is not being used. So no matter which industry you are in, you're going to see some applications of data science. So now I'm going to just cover a few of these very, very major applications. But since this area has become so generic that it is the data science applications are found in almost all industries. So here are some of the industries where you can find applications for analytics. So in business world, of course, we use very heavily these concepts of predictive analytics to find out, I mean, what customers want, which products are selling better, and all kind of operation related applications in business. Also in manufacturing, we use that thing. Healthcare, medicine, science, entertainment, sports, internet, government uses a lot, and national security. As I said before, it's very, very hard to find an area that does not have some type of analytics application. Analytics is just like mathematics. It is just like Excel, that is being used to do the mathematics primarily. So it's very difficult to find an area where we don't use mathematics or we don't use Excel. So analytics has almost become a very generic type of application which is found in all industries. The primary application of predictive analytics is actually is the Amazon recommender system. Amazon has become a very, very successful company, and the reason why they are so successful is that they have the ability to predict what a customer wants. So based on the past purchases and based on the profile of the customers, they can recommend certain products to actually to their customers, and the conversion ratio on those products which have been recommended usually is very high. So this is one of the reasons why Amazon has become very, very successful, and the price of the stock price of Amazon, of course, has crossed $1,500 now for a single share. And besides that thing, Amazon is an amazing company, and the foundation for their success, of course, is predictive analytics. So Amazon makes use of machine learning techniques and also predictive analytics to predict what's going to happen next, and based on that, they have become very successful. So these are the applications in the business world of data science or predictive analytics. So these are the applications which is understanding markets, predicting customer choice, finding new customers, retaining customers, positioning products, developing new products, and also promoting new products. So as you can see, all of these applications are related to the business world. And again, this is just a tip of the iceberg. There are many, many other applications that can be built based on data science. So these applications are very successful and based on the data that the corporation has. So based on the data the corporation already has, now we have the ability to predict what's going to happen next. And if we have the ability to compute the probability of certain events which are going to happen next, we can be prepared for that, and then we can deal with those issues when they arrive. So in the area of marketing and business, predictive analytics is used very, very heavily. Now, these are some other applications of predictive analytics. As I said before, recommending products, also accessing the brands and prices, utilizing social networks, and also watching competitors. So these are again the list of the applications, and if being implemented properly, can make a business very, very successful. Professor Eric Siegel has written a book, and the name of the book is called Predictive Analytics. Although this book only covers the applications of predictive analytics. In fact, I very strongly recommend that you can read this book. And this book is not very expensive. It's hardly 10 to $15 only, and you can buy this book from Amazon. And this book does not talk about the technology of predictive analytics. This book only talks about the applications, and this book is around 300 pages long, and you can see all different applications that have been built based on this idea of predictive analytics. So they, in this particular book, all the businesses, in fact, Eric Siegel has gone to all the businesses and basically and talked to them and basically identified all the applications that are built upon the concept of predictive analytics. Now, in the next slide, I'm going to show you some of the applications which I have taken straight from this book. I'm only going to show you the categories of applications which are there. Of course, there are hundreds and hundreds of applications, but only I'm going to show you the categories of those applications. So this particular list I have taken straight from that book which I showed you in the previous slide, that is Predictive Analytics by Eric Siegel. And these are the categories under which he has defined hundreds of applications. So these are the categories: the family and personal life, marketing, advertising and the web, financial risk and insurance, healthcare, law enforcement and fraud detection, fall detection, safety and logistical efficiency, government, politics, non-profit and education, human language understanding, thought and psychology, workforce, staff and employees. So this book is actually divided into these 9 parts, and each part basically has around 20 to 25 pages, and in those 20 to 25 pages, each category has been explored further, and all the applications in this particular category have been identified and also shown that which business has implemented these applications. So since there are hundreds and hundreds of applications right now for predictive analytics, it is not possible to enumerate all of them. But now, these days, predictive analytics has become a part of our culture. That it's very difficult to find any business which is not making use of the predictive analytics. And because this science or data science is used so heavily, there is also a very heavy demand for people who have the knowledge of predictive analytics and machine learning. So those people who know predictive analytics and machine learning, who can build these models and run these models, are very heavy in demand. Now let us look into another topic, which is trends in technology. And the reason we have to understand these trends in the technology, because these trends allows us to capture the data. We are going to look into what kind of a devices we will be using in future, and what kind of systems that we are going to use, where the data is going to reside, and how we are going to process that data. So this just by focusing on the trends in technology, we can see what is going to happen actually to the data science applications in future. So these are the major trends. The first one, of course, is that internet has made information available to everybody. So no matter where we are, we have access to the internet, and we can access internet using our cell phones. And of course, the second trend, of course, is that we have access to the mobile devices. Now, the mobile devices have become relatively very less expensive. For a few $100s, you can buy a smartphone. And once you have a smartphone, then you can start communicating with the whole world and also communicating with the servers, which is basically capturing the data. And the third major trend, of course, is that now we are entering the area of cloud computing. It means we don't have to do this data analysis on our own personal computers. We basically have servers, and the servers have infinite amount of computing power. The servers are designed in such a way that as the load is increasing, more CPUs are being added. So as we have more data, more hardware is there to basically handle that data. So the cloud computing, it means everything remains in cloud, and all the data resides in cloud. And just because these clouds are being managed by professionals, usually the data remains to be very, very safe. And that allows us to increase the computing power if we need. So these are the three major trends in availability of internet through wireless networks, and ability to have a device by which we can connect to those networks, and all the data is being captured and stored and processed in cloud that allows us to process this data and to do the machine learning. So the future technology platform, as I said before in the previous slide, is that mobile devices, availability of the network, and cloud computing. So we are currently in 4G environment where, as far as the cellular networks are concerned, but 5G is coming. 4G we can do 5 megabit per second. 5G will allow us to do the 50 megabit per second, and our phones are becoming smarter and smarter, and the speed of the networks is becoming faster and faster. These days, it's very easy to find a 1 gigabit per second networks, even if they are not cellular. Most of the computers are connected by gigabit networks, and also we have the cloud computing. And in fact, the speed of the processors are increasing not in terms of every CPU, but since we have the ability to network these computers, we have almost infinite amount of power. So this allows us to capture huge amount of data. So this is the future technology platform, and this things is becoming better and better every day. So we are basically capturing more and more data we have. We can process that data, and also we can draw some conclusions and try to understand from the data about our real world. Another technology trend that we have noticed is Hadoop. Hadoop is a distributed file system, and it allows us to distribute our data, and also it becomes fault tolerant. And somebody must be wondering that why do we call this thing as Hadoop? The Hadoop name basically came from a toy elephant. Mike Affarella basically invented Hadoop, and he had a 4-year-old son, and his son used to play with a toy elephant, and that elephant, his son named that elephant as Hadoop. So this name of Hadoop basically came from the toy elephant. So Hadoop is the foundation on which this cloud architecture is built. For example, if you want to search something on Google, Google may possibly have a data structure or database which is being duplicated all over the world. So whether you are in Los Angeles, you can search something, or whether you are in New York, you can search something. And the data is distributed all over the world, and it is fault tolerant. If one node goes down, you can get the data from the other node. So all of this thing basically allows us to capture the data. So Hadoop is a foundation on which this cloud architecture is being built. There are many other systems have also been developed which are in competition with Hadoop, which is star system. And so Hadoop is not the only game in town. There are many other systems that has come up. But these are the systems that allows us to capture the data. So there are four pillars of architecture on which Hadoop is being built. First of all, it is scalable. It means we can keep on adding nodes, so it becomes a distributed. It is cost effective. So Hadoop can bring massive parallel computing to the servers. It is also very flexible. And the last one, of course, is it is also fault tolerant. So because of Hadoop, we have the cloud structure. in which all the data basically resides. So Hadoop is one of the very important part of the technology that allows us to do this data mining or data science applications. We can build these applications in cloud, and Hadoop is the fundamental technology on which these applications are being built. So that is the end of this lesson. In this lesson, we have basically covered the big data and analytics. Then we looked into some of the data science applications, and these applications are numerous. In fact, it is very difficult to find a business where they are not using data science. And in the end, we looked into the trends in technology. And because of this new trends which we are observing in this technology area, because of that, data mining or this predictive analytics or machine learning applications are being built. So we are entering into the world of big data. We have got a huge amount of data, and now we are doing data science. And data science basically is the same thing as machine learning, predictive analytics, and data mining. All these things have different names in different context. In the business world, machine learning is called predictive analytics.